I had a client recently share something with me that I hear all the time, especially around the holidays. And I really wanted to share it with you and kind of break it down because it highlights some really important points. Our brains interpret everything that happens to and around us. And when communication is unclear, the brain naturally fills in the blanks. And for a lot of us, it usually fills in the blanks with fear and doubt and self-blame. I'm Dr. Denham, and I'm here to help you cut through all of the crap online with information that you can trust. So what does that actually mean? Let me share what happened with this client. My client and her husband invited his parents to a holiday event. And they mentioned to his parents that a few friends were going to be there, but they would really love for them to come also. And crickets. They received no response for days. So eventually they followed up to clarify whether or not they were planning to come. And the response was something like this. Well, we've decided to stay home and think about how much we love all of our family, including you. Now, that might sound sweet, but for my client who's wired to pick up on every emotional undercurrent, it felt really loaded. And she was left wondering if they were upset that friends had been invited, if it was some sort of passive-aggressive jab. She didn't know if they were feeling left out, or if they were just being distant, or if they were being punished for something that she was unaware of. So her brain spiraled into, what did I do wrong? How do I fix it? This is such a common occurrence, especially for those of you who are highly attuned to the emotional climate around you. When something feels emotionally unsettled, your brain will sit and ruminate on it, trying to make sense of it. And if clarity isn't available, your brain starts writing stories. And those stories will usually end up being ones that puts the blame on you. And if that wasn't challenging enough, if you're not aware of how your brain and temperament are processing things, you'll likely end up caught in a ping-pong cycle of overfunctioning, trying to fix it all, and withdrawing because you feel hopeless or overwhelmed. I want to share the practical shift that we worked on in our session together. First, we worked on naming it. Naming the emotion, naming the pattern, naming the story that her brain was trying to write. Because when we put a label on it and name it, we move from a covert reactive pattern to a conscious intentional response. Literally, just by saying, this is what's going on here, it activates a different part of your brain and makes your reactions intentional. You can no longer just subconsciously react once you label what it is that you're dealing with. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say that you're hosting, and in preparation, you're prepping guest baskets, you're rearranging your schedule so that you can be available, you're staying up late to make sure that everyone feels cared for. All of these things could be an indication of a beautiful act of generosity, or it could be fueled by fear. If I don't do this, people won't like me. I don't want to be judged. If I don't bend over backwards, they'll think that I don't care. Same exact behavior, very different motivation, very different emotional outcome. But if instead you pause and say, this is who I choose to be. I value connection. I want my home to feel warm and safe. I'm choosing this, not because I feel like I have to, but because I want to. That changes things dramatically. It brings ownership. It brings clarity and peace. Why? Because instead of hustling for worth, like in the first example, in the second example, you're doing it because that's the kind of person that you want to be. And as a result, you're living in alignment with what your values are. So if you find yourself spinning in your head this season, if your brain keeps asking, what did I do wrong? Or why do they feel so off? Or what should I have done differently? Practice these few steps and see if they make a difference. You might just end up super surprised. So pause. Name what's happening, take responsibility for your motivation, and choose the version of you that you want to bring to the table. Whether the family drama gets resolved or not, you can still walk away feeling proud of how you showed up. Because in all of this, that's the part that you have control over. This is the power of both emotional awareness and temperament-informed living. As you come to know and understand how your brain is wired to react, you can step out of being ruled by the same old patterns. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, Why is it that I always feel like the problem? Why do I care so much about what other people are feeling? And why does everything feel so emotionally loud? There's a very predictable and logical reason, and it's not because you're broken. It's because of your temperament. In my core temperament model, you're probably what I call a C. C stands for comfort and connection. C's are the feelers among us. If you're a C, your brain is designed to pick up on things that most people completely miss. And that natural awareness of the emotional environment is awesome. It brings a sensitivity that can make interacting with you feel like being wrapped in a warm blanket. And it also leads to some of the predictable challenges that this situation brought up for my client. You don't have to live in a constant state of what's wrong with me. You can learn to work with the way that your brain was designed instead of against it. So if you haven't already done it, take the free core assessment at whatsmycore.com. And let's start navigating the relationships in your life with way more clarity, confidence, and calm. You're not too much. You're not broken. And hopefully, you're ready to understand yourself much more deeply than you have up to now. And as you do, your relationships will transform.